TV. You feel what I'm saying? Now listen, man, you could tap in and you could tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest, and I suggest you tap in. So let's get right into it. Now you already know time, energy, the highest forms of currency, my G. I know they got y'all here chasing that money, chasing the bag, chasing that paper, stacking that cheese, that cheddar, and that mozzarella. But always keep it in the front of your mental Rolodex. That time and energy are the highest forms of currency, my G's, at all times. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Now, big salute to all my day one investors, everybody that's highly invested in the channel, everybody that understands that we are growing this channel organically, constant elevation. Yeah, we on our way to the top, well over 50,000 subscribers, and we on our way to 60K. Even bigger salute to all my newcomers, all my new subscribers, everybody that's making their way to the Realest channel on YouTube, Grown Man Business TV. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. You already know how I'm giving it up, and you absolutely know how I'm putting it down, my G's. All right, now do me a favor, man. Wipe off your feet before you step into the big house. Yeah, wipe off your feet before you come into this big ass house, my G's. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure your notification bells are ringing loud and clear every time we go live right here on the Realest channel on YouTube, Grown Man Business TV. You already know where you at. All right. Now, I see a lot of y'all in the DM. Yo, GMB TV, what's the deal? Where you at? Well, you already know I'm handling grown man business. You understand what I'm saying? I'm handling grown man business at all times. And every now and then I got to make some moves that, take me away from the content. But we are back in the algorithm. All right? And we're going to have a conversation. I got a lot of people in the DM. Yo, GMB TV, what's your perspective on the situation with these Somalians? I mean, what's your thought process on everything that's going down with these Somalians out there in Minnesota? And I got to say, man, absolutely nasty work, my G's. I mean, it's nasty work seeing what's going on out there with the Somalians in Minnesota. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to have a quick conversation about it. We're not going to stay long. But I want to get some things clear. I think it's a lot of confusion. It's a lot of distortion. It's a lot of talking. You understand what I'm saying? And nothing is clear. You already know where you at. We gonna get right into the meat and potatoes of the situation. Your big salute to the chat. Breezy Santana, I see you in here. We just baiting the algorithm. All right, we gonna talk about Diddy tonight. I want y'all to be sure y'all hit the subscribe, hit the like, make sure y'all in tune. Your notification bells are ringing loud and clear, because we're going to double back. After we bait the algorithm, we doubling back tonight. We're going to talk about that Diddy documentary. You know what I mean? But for right now, let's stay right here with the Somalians. I wanna give some light. I want to give some game to this. All right? I don't understand exactly why every time one of these communities is being deported or having issues with Donald Trump or having issues with the government, you know what I'm saying? My people always got to get spoken on. Black people, foundational Black Americans, we always got to be brought into the mix anytime y'all get some static with the U.S. government. But the beautiful thing is we got independent content creators like myself, and we going to speak on it. The Somalians out there in Minnesota, they're being deported. They got ICE up the wazoo. You know what I mean? Big fraud situation, billions of dollars being washed down the drain, and we're going to talk about it. All right? Now, before we get into this, before we had this conversation, you already know I got to do some customizations to the chat. Absolutely got to do some customizations to the chat. You already know the higher ups and the elites is playing chess at the highest level, my G. They always trying to shadow ban the channel. They always trying to muffle the message. They already know I'm a threat to the establishment. You know what I mean? I'm absolutely a threat to the establishment, and a revolution will be televised right here in these YouTube streets. Absolutely. All right? So you know where you at. We're going to do some customizations to the chat, and then we're going to talk about these Somalians. We're gonna talk about what's going on right here on the U.S. soil. We're gonna have a conversation. And the reason we're gonna have a conversation is because this is my land. Yeah. Yeah, we can't be deported. They can't deport us back to nowhere because this is our land. All right? Now, let's get into the customizations to the chat. Big salute to everybody that's in here. You know, let's talk, man. We gonna bait the algorithm. We gonna get back in the algorithm. It been a few days since I seen y'all. You know what I mean? I can't lie, man. I definitely missed you guys. You know what I mean? But things happen. The universe is working how the universe is working. You know what I mean? But one thing for sure, two things for certain, we ain't going nowhere. Let's get into this situation, man. Yeah, it been a few days, man. Big salute to the chat. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you do what you're supposed to do when you come in the building. All right, Somalians. We gonna have a conversation about the Somalians, man. I ain't tripping. I ain't tripping. Bam, you see that right there at the bottom of the chat, right? Before you get in here with your Twitter fingers doing the Twittering and all that, with your Twitter fingers, using your Twitter fingers to do what your Twitter fingers do best, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure your notification bells are ringing loud and clear every time you step foot in the Realest channel on YouTube, Grown Man Business TV. All right, now let's have this conversation, man. It's a huge situation going on out there in Minnesota where you got a whole community of Somalians, right? Being targeted by ICE, by Donald Trump, by the government because of fraud. The same way they had this whole PPP loan during COVID is the same way these Somalians have been manipulating the government, manipulating the system to get this money and to elevate their communities and to go to the next level, right? Now, I want to say this first and foremost. Well, we're going to get into that. They have been targeted. They've been taking hundreds of millions of dollars, and now the U.S. government is on their ass. And now all of a sudden, we ain't black and black people this and black people that. And I really want to make sure my intentions are pure and that I'm angling this the right way. But it's nasty work, my G. Everybody want to be black until it's time to be black. Everybody want to be us until it's time to be us. See, y'all was black. Y'all was parading around. Y'all was acting, y'all dressing, y'all rapping, y'all acting like black people, but y'all don't understand the feds is coming. The government is coming. Everybody want to be black until it's time to be black. Everybody want to be down with the movement until them people come. Yeah, I told you, when the federales come, it's yes, sir, and it's no, sir. When Donald Trump, when ICE, when the law enforcement, when they come around, it's yes, sir, and it's no, sir. Everybody want to be black until it's time to be black, right? So now you got these Somalians. They seem to have a problem with black people. They're making their statements on Twitter and social media, and they're saying, we're not black, we're Somalian. You see what I'm saying? And I want to say this before we go in depth with this, right? In America, your ass is black. See, one thing for sure and two things for certain. I kept the receipts, my G. I don't go nowhere without the receipts. And what a lot of you immigrants and a lot of you foreigners fail to realize is that when you come over here to the Western Hemisphere, when you come over here to the American soil, when you step into the matrix of white supremacy, it ain't no difference. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all want to separate yourself. You want to, oh, I'm Somalian. You're black. Oh, I'm Nigerian. You're black. So if you don't want to be considered black, if you don't want to be a part of this algorithm, then you need to go back to Somalia. Yeah, you need to go back to Somalia. You need to go back to Ghana. You need to go back to wherever you came from, respectfully. But when you come over here, the white man see you for exactly who you are. And that's why this particular live stream is going to be my pleasure. It brings me a lot of joy to be the bearer of bad news. I know you thought you was from Nigeria. I know you thought you was a Somalian. And you came over here to the U.S. You came over here and you wanted to be separate. The white man don't see you as separate. The white man see you as nigga. Now, I know you ain't me. I know you ain't a black. You could never be what I am. You don't embody that God. You don't got that. You ain't, they didn't give y'all that. So you can't tell me you were, but the white man don't care about none of that. And didn't you come over here to get money? Didn't you come over here to make a better way for you and your family? Didn't you abandon your country? Didn't you abandon your land to come over here with the Caucasoid man from the Caucasus Mountains? Yeah. Okay, so we gonna have a conversation. We're gonna talk about these foreigners. We're gonna talk about fraud, and we're gonna talk about black. The word, the social construct of being black. We're gonna talk about that as well. Big salute to the chat, man. Well over 200. Hit the like button and all that. We back in the algorithm. I ain't went nowhere. I'm just handling grown man business. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. Know what I mean? Salute to these YouTube streets. I see everybody in these YouTube streets, and we gonna talk about that. We gonna do that tonight. Oh, we gonna talk about the Diddy situation tonight. 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson. We're talking about that tonight. Right now, let's look at some of these Somalians. Big salute to the chat. I ain't even gonna hold you. I want to get right into some of these Somalians. Love over hate. Appreciate that 10-piece nugget. Yeah, we back in the algorithm. We back in the algorithm. Let's start right here with the division, with the underlining hate, with the separation that these foreigners come into the U.S. with. They come onto our land with, right? And I want to let this Somalian, let's get into this receipt. All right. One thing for sure, two things for certain. I kept the receipt. Go ahead and talk to the people. Look.
I did a video earlier this week about how the Somalis are pushing back, and they're saying that a lot of the outrage that is currently happening in the country is because the American people are jealous, right? We're jealous of the fact that Somalis come here and that they become so successful, right? They buy nice cars, nice houses, nice apartments, and we're just racist and jealous, right? This is what they claim.
You know, like the racists are actually just jealous of Somalis because of how successful we became in a matter of one generation. And I was watching a lot of videos that are coming up on my For You page where people are saying, how come Somalis have nice cars and we don't? We've been here like how many generations? We were born here, our ancestors are from here, but Somalis drive nice cars. This whole thing is just making me realize is jealousy. They're jealous of our success because they expect us like to be at the bottom of the bottom, right? And then we come here one generation, we work hard, we save our money. And Somalis are not the only community that committed fraud, okay? We're not all committing fraud, okay? Every community has bad apples, but they're trying to use that as leverage to hate on us, right? And attack our community. But what it is like when you're an immigrant group and you're black on top of that and you're African, they hate you to be successful. They hate you to be successful. Now, if we were like European immigrants, like maybe Bosnians who are Muslims or Russians, and they become successful, nobody would blink an eye because they're white. But the fact that we're brown people from Africa, do you know what I mean? It kills them. Because
Now, I'm non-biased. You understand? But I have to agree with some of the things she's saying, and then I have to disagree. Where I disagree is nobody's jealous. At least I'm speaking for me and my people. Nobody's jealous. We sit back, we watch all of you foreigners and all of the immigrants come to America, and we don't envy you guys. We don't envy you guys because we witness y'all leave your land, come over here just to be successful. You understand? Just to make it a better way, just to go to the next level. You have to make sure you make the pilgrimage to the Americas to do that. So we don't envy y'all on that. We sit back and we say to ourselves, Somalia can't be that good if y'all over here. Nigeria can't be that good if y'all over here. Jamaica, Haiti, whatever, the Virgin Islands can't be that good if y'all is riding banana boats, risking your life to come over here. There is no jealousy. You come over here, you make a couple of dollars. We don't envy that. You come over here and you make a couple of dollars in the infrastructure that my ancestors built. It's bigger than money. It's bigger than financial gain. It's bigger than monetary things. It's bigger than that. My ancestors built this country. We invented things that make us who we are. So the fact that y'all come over here, y'all make money, y'all get rich, you're welcome. You understand what I'm saying? All we looking for is yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, right? But I have to agree with her. Now, this is where I get some pushback, but I have to agree. And I want to send this out to my dog fur having Caucasoid counterparts from the Caucasus Mountains, white people. This is where we're gonna have a conversation, right? That's why my channel is so powerful, because we'll talk about that more later. White people only get up in arms when other people take advantage of the system. When other people start taking advantage of the tax dollars, when other people start figuring out how to go through the loopholes, now all of a sudden it's fraud. Now all of a sudden it's a problem. Now all of a sudden it's scamming. When white people have scammed the system for hundreds of years, white people have been committing fraud, scamming, stealing, manipulating, cutting corners in this very system for hundreds of years. How do y'all think y'all have gained such wealth? How do the higher ups in the elites, which is white people, Jewish people, people with the dog fur. That's why I like to use the word dog fur. Man, it's all different type of white. Yeah, you got Europeans, you got Spaniards, you got all different type of Caucasoids. They all got one thing in common, is they got the dog fur. How do y'all think y'all got in position? Y'all think y'all just worked your asses off? Y'all just did the right thing? Y'all was righteous and then y'all got wealthy? No. Y'all been stealing. Y'all been taking advantage of the loopholes. And that's one thing I always like to put out there for the immigrants that come into America and look down on black people. See, it ain't no division. In America, you don't get rich by being a good guy. You don't become a billionaire by being a good guy. You don't become a trillionaire by being righteous. America was built on thieves, stealing, blood, murder, killing. That's what this land was built on when the European Caucasoid dog fur having people came over here. So now, I got some more receipts. Now, all of a sudden, it's a problem. And I want to tell you something. Whatever kind of scam these Somalians was doing, oh, they did it big. Oh, they did that shit big. They got Minnesota. They done took over the whole goddamn Minnesota. You know what I mean? They done really figured yo, let me tell you something. Let me digress, right? These Somalians got 24-hour daycare centers out there in Minnesota. 24-hour daycare. Where you I ain't never seen the 24-hour daycare. Strictly for their own community. So whatever they was doing, whatever scam, whatever PPP loan they was doing, oh, they got the attention of Donald J. Trump, ISIS, and the goddamn dog fur having government. Oh, they don't like that. They ready to deport all the Somalians in Minnesota. I got the receipts. I got the receipts. And see, this is where it get deep at, because the Somalians and all of these other immigrants, they instantly want to beef with us. They want beef with black people. They want beef with, you know what I'm saying, foundational black Americans. Y'all don't want to go to war with white man, the government. Y'all want to be counterparts with the white man in the government. But again, y'all don't understand how it works over here. They don't rock with y'all like that. You come over here, you be an immigrant, and you live amongst the blacks. Soon as you start coming up in the world, it's a problem. As soon as you figure out that working and being a good guy and trying to do this and trying to do that keeps you in the rat race, it's a problem. As soon as you realize how to scam, steal, scheme, just like they do, oh, now it's an issue. If y'all was smart, y'all wouldn't be mad at black people. Y'all would link up with us. But anyway, it's always an issue when anybody other than white people figure out how to manipulate the system. So I gotta salute the Somalians out there on that point. Don't get cocky. Don't get cocky. Don't start feeling yourself, because I'm about to get back on y'all ass, the Somalians. So don't get comfortable. But as far as whatever y'all was doing out there, I gotta salute you. Hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm talking upwards of $1 billion of PPP funds, scams. They buying whole communities out there in Minnesota. All right? So it is what it is. And I'm going to talk more about that, because the reason why nothing adds up is because you got immigrants. White people are immigrants on American soil. White people are foreigners on American soil. So you got foreigners and you got immigrants telling other immigrants what they can do and what they can't do. Not only are Caucasoid people immigrants and foreign to American soil, they steal, they cheat, they lie, they scheme, they scam on American soil. So now you got immigrants that have made themselves wealthy by stealing tax-paying dollars, stealing, scamming, beating the system, telling other immigrants they can't do the very same thing that they did, telling other immigrants, other foreigners, that y'all are scammers. Y'all are gonna be deported for stealing money. Looking you right in your goddamn face, knowing your ancestors, your uncles, and your grandfathers did the same thing. How you think white people got in position? They don't invent anything. They don't contribute to the forward progression of mankind or the world, period. They steal everything. Money, inventions, ideas, intellectual property, whatever you got that's valuable, white people are going to figure out how to manipulate and steal it. So you got these people looking at these other immigrants and saying, hey, you got to do it by the book. You got to do it by the rules, man. You got to play by, come on. Caucasoid people, you got to do better. It's never going to make sense. It's never going to truly add up, because again, when is anybody going to step up and say, white people, you are foreign to America. You are an immigrant. White people, respectfully, you are European. You are Greek. You are Spaniard. You are not from America. You are a foreigner. You can be deported. When are we going to start telling Caucasoid white people that you can be deported just like the Somalians, just like Africans, just like Jamaicans and Haitians? Let's get into another receipt. Big salute to the chat, man. You know, we back in the algorithm. You know, I know y'all miss me because it ain't nothing real like this. Everybody talking about Diddy, and we're going to get to that. We're going to get directly to P. Diddy and 50 Cent. But it ain't nobody talking about the real topics. Ain't nobody keeping it real. When I step back from YouTube and I become a consumer and I cruise through these YouTube streets and I scroll through the algorithm, I don't see nobody talking like this. Let's listen to some of this. I want you to look how excited this dog fur having Caucasoid man is about what's going on in Minnesota. Oh, let's get into a little bit of this. Big salute to the chat. Let's see what they talking about. All right, well, I don't want to waste no more time, man. It's nasty work. White people, you're an immigrant. You're foreign. Hey, let me say something before we get into this receipt, right? Anytime I'm in Florida, right, I look around and I see white people everywhere. Now, Florida is hot all year long. I mean, it's hot in Florida all year long. And you think to yourself, all of these white people in Florida, y'all ain't even supposed to be in Florida. It's hot as hell. This is obviously not your land. Florida is not your native land. It's too goddamn hot in Florida. But somehow, some way, y'all move around Florida like it's yours. Y'all feel like nobody else should be in Florida except y'all. Goddamn skin red than a goddamn hog. I mean, you pink and red like a hog, trying to be in the sun, trying to live in Florida, and you ain't even native. This ain't is. You can't tell other immigrants what to do, and you a goddamn immigrant. All right, so I'm gonna get into this, but I need all of y'all to understand. Stop talking about foundational Black Americans. You come over here, do your shit, do your thing. But understand something. The only reason you get to come over here is because of my ancestors, the civil rights movement. The only reason y'all Somali, we gonna get into that. We gonna get into that. All right, let's get into this receipt. Look.
Dollar down payment in 2021. And county records show they've racked up more than $50,000 in delinquent property taxes
Well,
since then.
they're fraudsters. Why would they pay their taxes?
To the note I left, but a week later we did see someone leaving in a Cadillac.
The news is taking out the
Prosecutors
house.
say they have to wait for Salim Saeed to be sentenced before they can take the property.
Oh, really?
But that doesn't explain this one. Records show the owner of this house in Willerny is Jonathan Ross, the husband of Sharon Ross.
We want to keep that program going.
The former
Well, that's
director
her.
of House of Refuge Twin Cities was sentenced to prison in February for her role in the Feeding Our Future fraud. That should have cleared the way for the government to take the property. But we found a car registered to Ross's husband still sitting in the driveway.
Is it abandoned?
We are also asking about this house in Burnsville.
Everyone looks like they're getting away with it. Are these people being protected by officials in Minnesota who also may have benefited from this fraud?
Owned by former...
Everybody looks like they're getting away with it. Like, you see the conviction in this dog fur having Caucasoid. You see how excited he is? Now, only if you had that same energy for all those white governors, all those white politicians with millions of dollars. Pelosi, she's worth $200 million on a $250,000 a year salary. Fraud, scam. They only care about, and I said civil rights. Open your ears and close your mouth. Oh yeah, we back. We back in there. I saw that in there. I saw that all in the chat right there. I said civil, not silver. Civil. Close your goddamn mouth and open your ears. Put your Twitter fingers down for 2 seconds and let me deliver this download. Yeah, I saw you. I saw you in the chat. White people, we gotta really expose this. We gotta talk about this. Y'all came over here, you stole everything, you poisoned the land, you take trillions of tax-paying dollars and you put it in the pockets of these old-ass congressmen, Supreme Court justice, mayors, governors, all this bullshit. And we don't talk about that. You ain't got nothing to, you don't care about that scamming. But soon as some goddamn Somalians come into the equation. See, it's gonna come to a head. It's something we say down south, something gotta give. And it's only gonna be so much longer. We all gonna sit back and watch a group of goddamn Viking. Y'all was Vikings, man. I'm talking conquerors, whatever. Immigrants, white people. You're not native. None of the statues look like y'all. No, it ain't. Listen to me. We ain't found one statue with a goddamn white man nose on it. That's why y'all keep knocking off the noses on all the goddamn statues. We ain't found one goddamn statue with a white man lips on it. We ain't found one statue with goddamn dog fur on the statue. So y'all are foreigners, man. Y'all are immigrants. And it's going to come to a point where all of us is going to turn and look at y'all, and we gonna get to kicking y'all asses up out of here, man. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Somalians, Nigerians, black people, everybody's going to turn around and get to looking at that dog fur, and we gonna get to getting y'all up out of here, man. Okay, let people do what they going. And we got PPP loans. Mind your goddamn business. I tell y'all all the time, the world would be a better place if Caucasian people would just mind their own business. Yeah, we gotta just mind your goddamn business. We about to take some of this money. We about to scam the government. We about to get this money. Take your ass back into your flower garden and mind your business. I don't like it, man. And I'm going to get back with the Somalians because y'all going to understand exactly what y'all doing, and then y'all going to pay, and then we going to talk about that. But white people, I don't think y'all should be the ones ever trying to chastise people. Trying to point out, come on, man, you can't be the one to do it. Panther Jones, what it do, my G? That's the beautiful thing about grown man business. You know what I mean? Let me know in the chat what you disagree with. I will respond to that. Now, Somalians, back on y'all. When you come to this land and you disrespect my people, when you come to this land and you figure out how to gain riches, how to beat the system, right? What you got to understand is you're not stealing money from the government. You're stealing money from the tax-paying citizens. You're taking advantage of blood, sweat, and tears that my ancestors spilled on this soil for you to even have the right to come over here and attempt to scam, scheme, steal. Okay? So with that being said, if you choose to do what you're doing, it's consequences and it's repercussions. This is not Somalia. This is not Nigeria. This is not none of these countries that you guys are coming from to America. When you come over here, now you play by these rules. So y'all did y'all thing. I mean, y'all did y'all big one. But now the white man is on your ass. Now it's time to now it's time to go home. You understand? I disagree letting foreigners come to our country and letting them scam, but you're answering the question right now. Exactly. Salute, my G. Yeah. I don't condone nobody coming over here and beating the system, but the system is meant to be beaten. The rules are meant to be broken. That's the only way to level up your community. That's the only way to level up the real situation, right? But when you come over here and you scam, what you gotta do is pay homage. First off, you gotta pay homage to the civil rights movement that was led by my ancestors. Secondly, you gotta understand you're not beating the system. You're beating you're beating the very people you claim to be. You're not beating the system when you do that. You're beating us. And over here, when you do those things, when you call us jealous, when you say that, y'all, no, nah, that's not it. See, the thing is this. Why wasn't you able to do that on your own soil? Why wasn't you able to do that in Somalia? Because in Somalia, they'll cut your goddamn hands off. Yeah, you a thief, they cut your hands off. Oh yeah, we heard about what go on over there in them foreign countries and all that. Let's get into another receipt. I want to play another receipt. I want to just give you some context on what I'm talking about when I say, you know, and listen, I agree 100% with not letting foreigners come over here and scam our government, but that's exactly what white people are doing. So I don't think nobody should be able to scam the system. I believe, and I believe that, you know, wholeheartedly, the system is set up. We need to run. But see, if we had a fair chance, if America played fair, we'd all be in Harvard. We'd all have millions, especially my people. If America played fair, if the government played fair, we all would have had a house being handed down. We all would have had some land being handed down. We all would most likely be in different positions. But America don't play fair. We are being ran by an outside government, Israel. We got Spaniards and we got Caucasoid Greeks and we got all these different foreigners running America. So yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with letting foreigners come in and rob this soil. But I mean, it ain't just the Somalians. It's them white people you talk to every day. It's that white man when you go to work and you shake his hand and you say, yes, sir, no, sir. It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. This is the hard conversation right here. This is the harsh truth. White people act like they can't be deported. Nigga, you from Europe. Yeah. Your ancestors and your grandfather, they from Greece and yeah. You from Spain. You get the fucking up over here. Why we don't send you back to the Caucasus Mountains and all of that? We are the only ones that cannot be deported because this is our land. So it ain't just a problem when the Somalians is doing it. It ain't just a problem when these other foreigners. It's a problem when the dog fur is doing it as well. Big salute to the chat. Let's look at this. Let's see what we got here. I want to let a couple of these Somalians talk. Let's see what we got going on. Look.
America, 78 people arrested in Minnesota for a Feeding Our Future charity fraud scam. But not just anybody arrested, 78 Somalians arrested in Minneapolis, Minnesota and the surrounding area for basically just stealing funds for a food program. So in Minnesota, there was a Feeding Our Future food program that was supposed to go to feed poor people throughout Minneapolis and greater Minnesota. Unfortunately, around $250 million of charity money was stolen by 78 Somalians. These Somalians were pretending to give meals to family and kids throughout Minnesota. Unfortunately, they were pocketing the money and buying real estate. The latest or 78th man that was arrested was pretending to give 6,000 meals out a day. But he was just simply lying, pocketing the money, and bought $1.2 million worth of property. This same exact thing happened with 77 other people being arrested, all doing the same shit, pretending they were giving meals out and then just pocketing the money and buying cars and property and vacations and sending money back to Somalia, which more than likely ended up in the hands of terrorist organizations. And that money all came in from good Minnesotans and people throughout the country to feed people that were impoverished. But
Trump is coming after.
Now I wanna speak to this young Caucasoid man right here. Nasty work. Oh, they said they were feeding children, they were sheltering the homeless, and instead they was pocketing the money. And they was sending that money back to Somalia, which was probably going into the hands of terrorist groups. You know, we all know when terrorists get involved, we might got a 9/11. When it's a terrorist, when they use that word terrorist, oh, you got an issue, right? But ain't that the same thing? Ain't that the same thing as they say they're using our money for NASA? They take trillions of dollars of our money and they pocket it. And they say, oh, we're using this money for NASA, space conquest. And then they go out there to the desert and they take pictures and they say, oh, this is Mars. This is Venus. This is a rover on Pluto. And the whole time they over there in the Grand Canyon rolling rovers around, and they take that money and they buy yachts and they buy homes and they get rich like the governors in the yeah, you know what they do. They tell us that they took the money to go and fund NASA. Ain't near one of us, man, ain't none of that shit real. Then they take the rest of the money and they send it over there to Iraq and Iran and Israel and you know, Venezuela. Provide them with guns and provide them with weapons and provide them with tanks. Terrorist groups. I mean, it's the same thing. So yeah, those Somalians need to be handled, handcuffed, and deported. But after we deport all the immigrants we find scamming, when are we going to look at y'all, white people? When are we going to say to ourselves, okay, you know what? Hold on. Let's look at, you're an immigrant. Yeah, you're a goddamn immigrant. And y'all been stealing our goddamn tax. Y'all been stealing our money. See, let's get deep into this. Why do you think every other week it's another group of people being targeted? Why do you think last week it was the Mexicans, then it was these people, now it's the Somalians? It was the Haitians, it was the Jamaicans, it was the Mexicans, now it's the Somalians. Why? You think it's because they care so much? No. I keep telling y'all, never fall for the double cross. Always pay attention to the triple cross. The reason it's always another group is to keep our eyes off of them. It's to make us look, and every time they get these groups, they make sure Y'all gonna beef with some black people. The Mexicans, they beefing with black people. The Haitians, they beefing with black people. They got something to say about black people. The Somalians, they don't want to be called black. They got something to say. They beefing with black people. They always keep us looking at each other so we don't look up. So we don't look at them. That's the message of this. Yeah, nasty work. Yeah, look, hey, I'm with the Somalians going to jail. I'm with them being deported. Your ass come over here. You get rid of where's the money at? You've been buying property, huh? You've been building communities out there in Minnesota. This what happened when you do that. The government come in, the feds come in, and they take all that. Why you think we don't do it? You think we ain't smart enough to understand? We already know when you do that type of shit, and the government and the feds come in, they seize all of that. It becomes government property. And then those same higher ups in the elites, those same white people, they get them properties in auction for $20. That $1 million house that you just risked your whole life to get, congressman come in the auction, private auction, he paid $300 and the property's his now. Just like that. So that's why we don't do it as black. But see, y'all don't know that because y'all don't talk to us. Y'all don't want to deal with black people. Y'all don't want to deal with foundational black Americans. We would have told you, hey man, this shit sounds good. Everything's cool. They coming to get all of this. How about this $1 billion? Y'all might need to just send it to Somalia. Get it out of the US, put it in an offshore account. Because you buying up all this property don't mean nothing. When Donald Trump come to get you, they coming to get all this property and all that. But y'all don't want to rock with us. Okay? So hey, your ass came over here from Somalia, you're going back to Somalia. But it's going to come a time where there is going to be nobody else to look at. There's not going to, they're going to go through all the different groups of people. And it's going to get all the way to the end of the line. And we all going to sit back and say, well, goddamn, when it's going to be your turn? White man, when is it going to be your turn? When are we going to start doing the research on these farms? You know, all these white farms. See, y'all thought I was going to get up here and just talk about the Somalians. Nah. I'm a threat to the establishment. I do shit that they don't expect. I go left every time. All these white farmers, how you think they got them farms? All of these white farmers all over America, how do you think they got them farms? They was handed down. And if we start doing the research, what we'll figure out is that your grandpa Joe stole that farm from a black man. Your grandpa or your great-grandfather stole that farm. You got white immigrants telling white immigrants telling other immigrants they can't scam, they can't steal, they can't scheme, they can't take. And all y'all ever did was scam, steal, scheme, and take. Y'all didn't inherit no goddamn farm. Your grandfather stole that farm. So it's going to come a point in time. Yeah, the Somalians is on the chopping block. Your ass going to jail. Yeah, last month, the Haitians was on the chopping block. The month before that, the Mexicans. Y'all remember the Mexican Revolution? Yeah. Y'all remember out there in California, it was a Mexican Revolution going on? We ain't heard nothing about the Mexicans in 90 days. When the last time you seen the Mexicans in the news? When the last time we talked about some wild ass Mexicans running through the streets? Yeah. We ain't heard nothing about the Mexicans in a while. The Mexicans made it through. The Mexicans figured it out. Now it's the Somalians. Your ass going back to Somalia. If you ask me. Yeah. Yeah. Your ass going back to. You come over here, you're scamming, you're stealing, you're scheming, you're getting cocky, you're talking crazy. Let's let my man talk. Look.
Somalis in Minnesota terminating TPS protection and stating Minnesota is being terrorized by Somali gangs. Send them back home. Yeah. Governor of Minnesota, he fired back. Ilhan Omar fired back. Republicans cheering. What? What is this? Because there's only 700 Somalis that have TPS. Majority of Somalis, they're U.S. citizens. They're green card holders. They're refugees from the 90s. They have built communities, businesses, neighborhoods.
Brother, those hair vitamins you're taking.
I don't know, partner. It don't look like that. It look like some scamming going on. It look like the Somalian people got some scam. We gon' flush out. You know what I mean? Respect it. I want to let you talk a little bit more. I want to let you talk a little bit more. 'Cause I know you got some more to say, right? But you've been scamming. You've been stealing money. Now, I said this before, right? All of these people on American soil have a land that they have abandoned. Somalians should be going back to Somalia. Respectfully, I do agree. Listen, man, if you are Jamaican, your ass should be in Jamaica, man. If you are Haitian, your ass should be in Haiti. If you are European, your ass should be in Europe. If you are a Spaniard, your ass should be in Spain. If you are not, listen, man, if you are Nigerian, your ass need to be in Nigeria. Home is where the heart is. Always remember that home is where the heart is. You need to take your ass back home. But see, again, everybody, we can't send everybody home if the white man don't want to go home. It's going to be a war. Yeah, because we send everybody home, your ass is from Greece. You're Greek? Oh, we got somewhere for you. Greece. Yeah. Oh. Your ass got to go home, brother. That's the only way the world is going to be able to come back into fruition. That's the only way the world is going to be able to start healing. Everybody need to go home. You can't be over here on American soil trying to goddamn talk to the people. Look.
Against each other.
In this country, we do not blame the lawlessness of an individual on a whole community. What we also know is that there is not a single evidence that the president or his coolies have put forth that there are any single resource from taxpayers in Minnesota that has gone to aid and abet terrorism. That language is dangerous. That language puts the lives of Somalis not only in Minnesota, but across the country in danger. And if the president believed that and he had evidence, he would take people to court.
Now I want to tell you something. This is why I say everybody got to go home, right? If this young lady is speaking out, she's speaking loud, she's proud. Because my ancestors laid the groundwork. We laid down the pavement for y'all to be able to come to this country and speak your mind. But if this very young lady was in Somalia talking like this about the government out there, or they'll rip her goddamn kufi off and run a train on her ass, and then they'll stone her to death. If this young lady right here was in Somalia talking this way about the government in Somalia, they'll rip her goddamn kufi off. Yeah. Your Muslim garment, they'll take that off you, run a goddamn train on you, and then stone you to death. You see? And this is why I say everybody gotta go home. Because I feel like if all of these people come to America for the freedoms that America provides, for the freedoms that my ancestors died for, y'all forgot that over there in Haiti, you can take the motherfucker, yeah, barbecue, the gang, they are running your house. You ain't safe in Haiti. You ain't safe in Nigeria. You ain't safe in Somalia. You can't open your goddamn mouth talking about the government over there. So y'all come over here and y'all act like, oh, America is the new place for us. We all just want to start fresh. We want to be safe. And then y'all get to talking like this lady right here. Ain't no civil rights in Somalia. Ain't no ladies. No, y'all don't got rights in the Somalia. Yeah, women don't got rights. Rip your goddamn, they'll stone your ass to death. I seen the receipts. What they do to women over there. And see, if everybody go back home, it restores order. Everybody coming to America because they wanna be free. They want to have a better life. They want to be able to say what they want, but they haven't fought for that. They haven't put in the work for that. They don't deserve that. You don't deserve, like my ancestors fought for this. That's why I talk like this. That's why I talk the way I talk. Because my ancestors put the work in. They died for this. Your ancestors ain't died for this. Your ancestors is kicking rocks. Your ancestors, your people is from Somalia. Yeah, open sewers. Yeah, y'all got open sewers over there. Yeah. Your people ain't give their life for free speech. Your people ain't give their life and spill their blood for women's rights. Y'all didn't die for this. Everybody gotta go home so we can restore order. Because when you take your ass back to Somalia, yeah, you know better. Oh, them Somalian men, they don't play that shit. They will whoop your ass over there and stone you. Yeah, in Islamic countries, they'll put a stone to your ass. You know, over here we say belt the ass. Over there they say stone the ass. They put a stone. Yeah. I'm glad you asked that question, right? Because I seen that in the chat, but I didn't get a chance to address it. People, you know, like foreigners, Africa, all these different foreigners feel like black people don't know where we come from. They feel like black people don't have a culture. They feel like, you know, originally black people was from Africa. Nah. Where are your roots from? Right here in America. Geechee, South Carolina, the Carolinas, Virginia. My roots, my great-great-grandfather, his great-great-grandfather was here. See, they make y'all believe, and I want to give y'all some game on this. Big salute to the chat. We done ran up the algorithm. We ain't going nowhere. We back in the algorithm. They made y'all believe that Africa is the motherland. They made y'all believe that Africa is the motherland and the birthplace of humanity. Who told you that? Who told you? Who told you that Africa was the white man told you that? Didn't he tell you that? Didn't the white man tell you that Africa was the motherland of civilization? Don't we all have a equal understanding that 100% of 99.9% of the things that the white man told us was a lie? Don't we all know that? So if the white man told you that Africa was the birthplace of civilization, you got to look at that in reverse. The white man ain't trying to live in Africa. Ain't nobody fighting to go to Africa. Ain't nobody in a rush. Ain't nobody, you ain't never seen, let me tell you something. You ain't seen one person get on a banana boat from America to Africa. You ain't seen one person ever get on a banana boat to get to Haiti. You ever seen some black niggas get on a banana boat to get to Jamaica? Never. The reason they told you that Africa was the birthplace of civilization is because America. See, they want you to look at Africa while they conquer America. They want you to think about going back to Africa while they conquer America. They call us they call us African Americans because they want to attach us to, you think they really want to attach us to the birthplace of humanity? So you think that they really said to themselves, those are African Americans. They are from Africa, the birthplace of humanity. Fuck no. They called us African Americans because they understand if they put the word African on us, it separates us from the birthplace of humanity. It separates us. We was never, my people, we was never Africans. When Mensa Musa came over here with all those Africans, we was already over here. We was trading with them. Let me give you some more game. Oh yeah, you in the right place. I'm back. Let me give you some more game. The pyramids that they make y'all look at over there in Egypt, right? The fake Egypt. Because the real Egypt was over here. Morocco was over here. The Nile River, the Mississippi, come on, baby. It's all right here. The birthplace of humanity, right here. We taught them how to make pyramids. Though it's pyramids in America 3 times older than the pyramids over there in the so-called Egypt. Kemet. It's pyramids right here on the American soil, the oldest pyramids in the world. You know why? Because it all started here. Why you think Mensa Musa came over here? Why the fuck you think we wasn't trying to go over there? Because this is the birthplace. This is the metropolis. This soil is it. Why you think white people want it so bad? Yeah, I saw you in the chat. We ain't going nowhere. I know you don't want to go. Where the fuck you gonna go? Back to the Caucasus Mountains? Yeah. So when you come to Grown Man Business TV, when you come to this channel, you gonna learn something. Because a lot of y'all is still confused. Y'all can't see through the smoke and mirrors. I saw you in the chat. Yo, where your roots from? Because you was trying to insinuate my roots is in Africa. Absolutely not. They don't walk like me. They don't talk like me. They skin don't look like mine. We don't even got the same fucking texture of skin. Somehow, some way, we are connected through melanin. That's it. We are brothers through melanin. That's it. You got melanin in Africa. I got melanin here in America. That's the only thing that connect us. Your beard don't grow like mine. Your waves don't spin like mine. Your swag ain't like, this shit is inherited. This ain't something you can learn. This is in you. It's not on you. Where's your roots from? Right here. For all of y'all out there that feel like, no, yo, where you from? You from America? No, but where's your people from? America. The real America, the real, you know what I'm talking about. That Titanian, come on, son. Come on. Where's your roots from? Right here. That's why they could never deport us. You think that dog fur wouldn't have found out a way to deport us if they could? I mean, they already gave us the name African Americans. So if we got the name African on our, if we got a title of African, you think they wouldn't be able to deport us like they about to deport them Somalians? You think they wouldn't have been able to get us back over there to Africa like they about to send them Somalians back to Somalia? It's a cosmic order. Even with the name African American, they can't deport us. They got to live amongst us. As much as white people want, they can't live without us, not on this soil. America is the birthplace of humanity. America is the birthplace of next level technology. You ever seen the world fairs? You ever seen pictures of the world fairs? Do some research. Go on YouTube, go on Google, type in pictures of the world's fairs. None of that shit was like that in Africa. They never had nothing like that in Africa. They never had no type of civilization, no type of shit like that in Africa. They never had buildings like that in Africa. Ever. It was never that in Africa. Never. I wouldn't give a fuck. Mensa Musa, none of them niggas ever had what we had over here in Africa. That's why they came over here. To get the knowledge. So they went back to Africa and was able to build pyramids. Yeah. Why you think Mensa Musa brought all that money over here? He knew he had to pay to play. Why you think he brought all that gold over here? He was willing to get that shit up for the knowledge. They got y'all thinking Africa is the birthplace of humanity. I told y'all, you better stop listening to that dog fur. If that motherfucker smell like a sheepdog, a golden retriever, you better take everything they say and reverse it. Now you understand why they ain't trying to go to Africa. You don't see white people invading Africa but for some reason they stuck here in America. They won't give America up. Oh no, hell no. They won't give America up. Why? Why won't they give America up? Why we can't go in the Grand Canyon? Because all the real pharaohs, that's where they lay at. All the real tombs with all the gold, the real knowledge is in the Grand Canyon. Shit ain't over there in Africa, nigga. Them niggas got open sewers over there. They shitting in the street to this day. Them people over there taking pisses and copping a squat in the middle of a goddamn street. Yeah, I'm passionate about this because I know exactly what my grandmother told me. My grandmother told me her grandmother was born in America. My grandmother told me her grandmother is not no African, was not no African. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Don't ever get it confused with what you're dealing with. America is the motherland. That's why that's why y'all all over here. That's the answer, right? You know, you got an innate feeling, and it's deep in you. It's innate. Where you just wake up one day out there in Somalia and you say, I gotta get to America. I can't do this no more. I got to get to America. I want to live a better life. It's all in America. And then these people, they will do anything. They will risk their life on a banana boat to get here to America. And they can't really understand other than they want a better life. Well, you can have a better life anywhere. Life is what you make it. Your environment is what you make it. Y'all could put blood, sweat, and tears in Somalia, And Somalia could be a great place, but there's no place like America. There's no place like it, homie. Big salute to the chat. You know, that download needed to be downloaded. You know, y'all come over here, y'all disrespect the natives of this land. You know what I mean? We're not Native Americans. Those are Caucasoid people. Those are imposters. We are indigenous. This is our land. Christopher Columbus, them motherfuckers was about to die. They was dying out. They was only gonna last one winter. That last winter, they could not figure out how to crop this land. They could not figure out how to take advantage of the spoils of war. And what we do, we help them. Listen, this is how you do it, man. This how you get it right. Plant your shit right here. It's gonna pop up this month. Look, do this, do that. We gonna have a feast. We gonna get y'all right. And here we are. Here we are. Y'all, white people, whatever, could not even live on this land without us. All right, big salute to the chat, man. I'm passionate about that because, again, you know, RP to my grandma, but I remember looking her in the eyes, and I remember her telling me with conviction, this is our land. This is our land, son. Grandson, this is our land. My great-grandmother, her parents is from here. Is from this land. They know my grandmama told me her great-grandmother didn't get off no banana boat, didn't get off no slave ship. They don't know nothing about that. The same way in Africa, they don't teach them about the slave trade. They don't teach them about the translig. They don't teach them about none of that because it wasn't all of that. It wasn't something that they really need to know about, but they taught us about it to brainwash us, to make us believe we came from Africa so that they could take this land. I know it's hard for you to be brought out the darkness into the light. I know it's hard. I know the truth is going to hurt, but I love being the bearer, and it's my pleasure to be the bearer of bad news. Africa's Africa. Beautiful place. A lot of resources. But why you think Africa is all these different countries? Why you think Africa is not united? Why you think Africa is being raped and pillaged by all these different people? Why? You got Russia in Africa. You got China in Africa. You got you got Europe. You got all these different people in Africa raping the soil. It's because Africa was never what we are. Big salute to Africa, though. Somalians, this is a part of the game, baby. This is a part of the game. You do crime in America, the feds is coming. Donald Trump is coming. Deportation is coming. You know, we can't be deported. My people, we can't be deported. It ain't really nothing they could do with us. It ain't nothing they could do with us. So when we decide to become a threat to the establishment, that's when it'll go up. That's when the revolution will be televised. When we feel like we want to go to war, that's when things happen. Y'all ain't us. None of y'all. Not just the Somalians. None of y'all. The only times, you know why things happen? Civil rights and all that civil rights is because we decided to go to war. We decided to push back. Until then, nothing moves. The only thing that will be moving is handcuffs on your ass and them airplanes for deportation back to Somalia. Big salute to the chat, man. Yeah, man, we go double back tonight for sure. We will be talking about P. Diddy in his docu-series. Salute to everybody in the DM. Y'all really wanted me to talk about that first, but I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna bait the algorithm. We gonna get back in the algorithm, and then we gonna, you know what I mean, press the gas. You know, I'm going to speak to that situation from a whole nother angle. So it's going to be something that you might want to tune into. It's not going to be the typical conversation everybody's having. Reparations, right? All right, let's talk about reparations for a few seconds. You know, you already know how I feel about reparations. It's a necessary. It's something that is old. You know, you build a house on a foundation with a crack in it. It don't matter how big and beautiful the house is, it's gonna fall. So until you take reparations and you take care of the foundation of this land, it don't matter how beautiful it looks. It don't matter how many white people you put in a suit and talk about this and talk about that. This situation is going to fall because y'all have not taken care of the foundation. And I mean what I mean when I said foundation. Foundational Black Americans. Y'all have not taken care of the foundation of America, of this land. The only people that can't be deported, because we can't be deported from our land. Reparations is necessary on multiple different levels. But see, again, right? White people are so used to stealing. They're so used to taking things that they can't see past making it right. They can't see past. White people cut their nose off and spite their own face. The same way a lot of white people voted for Donald Trump and now it's biting them in the ass is the same way a lot of white people don't want black people to have reparations and it's biting them in the ass. If they could see past racism, if they could see past stealing, thieving, robbing, because they again, they do exactly what the Somalians do. They rob the people. If they could get past that, they would understand reparations is only going to help America. First off, we're going to make right the wrong our ancestors in the history of America. We're going to set that straight. That's first and foremost. Secondly, black people, foundational Black Americans, we have the biggest spending power, period. There's nobody that spends money. There's nobody that stimulates an economy like us. So when we give them the money, when we give them millions of dollars that's owed to them, right? They're going to take a portion of that money and they're going to stimulate the fucking economy. Everybody's going to have money because we're going to spend money with all of you foreigners. Some of us is going to the Lamborghinis. Some of us is going to get the Porsches. Some of us is buying property with real estate. We're going to take that money and circulate it. The issue is, and again, white people know that, yes, a small percentage of these people are going to spend their money and they're going to be broke in 5 years. There's going to be another percentage of black people that are going to start 500 Fortune companies. They're going to start generational wealth. They're going to become juggernauts. And they're going to become independent juggernauts. This is not a LeBron James. This is not a Michael Jordan. This is not a Jay-Z. This is not one of these puppets that get rich by being spoon-fed. These people have gotten money that was owed to them and have created trillions of dollars of revenue and income. Now we are uncontrollable. Now you can't control me like you control LeBron James. They are afraid of the small percentage of black people that will take those reparations and turn it into trillions and trillions of dollars. They are more afraid of the black people that will take those reparations and liberate our people. Liberate. Like literally buy a whole state. Like literally buy everything. Build. They're afraid of that. So they would rather crumble the whole system than to see what's going to happen when money that is owed is, they ain't giving us nothing. That is money owed to my people, to me, to us. So reparations, you know, with all that being said, reparations is not something we are going to be handed. You know, like they handed Jewish people reparations, even though the Holocaust didn't even happen on American soil. We still pay fucking reparations. You know, reparations we pay to Hiroshima. Reparations that we pay to Israel every year. Unlike Israel, Hiroshima, and Jerusalem, right? We are going to have to take reparations. And you know what? That leads me to my last receipt. I'm glad that you said that. I want to play something. I'm going to elaborate on this last receipt, and then we're going to double back later tonight. All right? Salute, salute, salute. Big salute to the chat. Stolen land, stolen money, way overdue. Exactly. But they not scared. They're just going to spend the money and they're just going to do blah, 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 blah. That's a distraction. That's the double cross. The triple cross is the conversations they have about 40%, 60% of black people doing right with the money. Okay, so you got 30% of black people that's going to buy Lamborghinis, Porsche 911s. They're going to blow that money in 5 years. But you got 70% of black Americans that's going to buy land, property, stocks, trust funds, bond, everything. They're going to create generational wealth. There will no longer be poverty in their families. There will no longer be hood activity, death, violence, because everybody will be eating. They will create their own jobs. So now all of a sudden, all these black people that look for jobs, now they have their own job. See, that's what they scared of. Niggas starting their own construction companies on the highest level. So now you ain't got no niggas trying to work at your construction company. You ain't got no niggas trying to work at your bank. Now we got banks. Now we starting hospitals. We got our own police. See, that shit right there is liberation. Hey, I'm just talking now. I'm just talking. Reparations equals liberation. You know, Jay-Z, LeBron James, and Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry, these 4 black Americans, just these 4, could liberate black people. They could come together, put millions and billions of dollars together, and actually liberate black people. But they don't, because they're not allowed to liberate their people. They're allowed to be rich. They're allowed to flaunt and stunt on us, but they could never really help us with liberation. Reparations equals liberation. Now we got our own, we got our own departments. We got our own accountants. We got our own that separates us from white supremacy. And once we don't need you, we are starting to listen to me. Once we don't need you, white supremacy, we'll start plotting on how to eliminate you. Once we don't need you for a job, once we don't need you for food and groceries, once we don't need you, we'll start plotting on how to terminate you. Once we don't need you, now we become a threat. Think about that. Why you think they burned down Rosewood? Why you think they burned down Black Wall Street? Because We own the hospital in Black Wall Street. We own the houses in Black Wall Street. We own the schools in Black Wall Street. We own the banks. We owned everything. So we didn't need you. And that made y'all scared that we would become a threat. And I'm going to tell you something. We was going to become a threat. If Black Wall Street would have lasted for 20 years, became powerful, we would have became a threat. We would have been having secret meetings on how to exterminate the dog fur. So reparations equals liberation. That's why they'll never hand it over. We'll have to take that shit. We'll have to literally go to war and take this shit. One more receipt, my G's. Big salute to the chat. Look.
On a positive note for black people, what in the future do you see as progress for black people?
Violence. Not violence against each other, but violence against everybody else. Violence is going to be the issues. Violence is going to be the answer for the future. Bloodshed. Bloodshed,
going to war.
Bloodshed is going to be the deciding factor, not laws, not a judge. Bloodshed. Because we're claiming rights and freedom now. No group of humans in life have ever gotten their rights without spilling blood. We're not prepared to spill blood. Everybody else getting prepared.
The nigga of America is not prepared,
No,
correct?
Yeah, the nigga of America not prepared.
No, hell no.
Because everybody else don't have a problem with killing somebody else and not them.
Right.
They won't kill each other. We're the only ones that have a problem with killing everybody else, but not each other.
That's facts.
When Africans meet one another, they're not so quick to kill each other.
Right.
When they realize, oh, you're Nigerian, oh, my brother. We don't give a damn. We kill each other. So violence is what we're not prepared for. And we see the world get more violent around us. Mass shootings. That's why everybody's quick to attack us.
Yeah.
Everybody challenging us now. There used to be a time you couldn't catch a white man or nobody challenging a nigga.
Yeah.
They used to really be afraid of her. They really used to lock their doors. Well, they used to walk. They're not afraid of us anymore. They used to be afraid of us, and they used to respect us.
Mm.
For one, when a nigga got mad, he used to stir the white man. And the white man said, "What you looking at, boy?" He didn't say, "What you say to me, nigga." Staring at nigga. That fierce stare. That's what scared a white man. A silent nigga looking. Not a nigga talking. They think that's why they challenge us now, because now we got a group of black men that want to get in front of a microphone and talk. It ain't no more quiet niggas. Got the white man guessing what he thinking.
Now, I had this receipt for a while, right? And I felt like it was, perfect time to pull it out and speak on it, right? So this segued me off the whole, reparations situation. Violence, war. That's the only option left. You understand what I'm saying? And, you could take that how you want to take it, but it is what it is. And we are the only ones at this present moment that won't go to war with them people. You know what I'm saying? On that level. We'll go to war with each other, but we won't go to war the way our ancestors went to war. We won't go at the establishment. You understand what I'm saying? For the majority of us. And that's because of conditioning, right? That's because of, music, right? Social media, right? Television, television, right? Radio, all these different frequencies that are used to condition us to fight each other, right? Drugs, manipulation, all these different tools that are used and enhanced to turn us on each other. What you think reparations gonna do? What you think gonna happen if all of these poor people that kill each other because they're stressed out, they're poor, they have a lack of resources, all of a sudden gets resources. All of a sudden, they're not going to kill each other because niggas ain't broke no more. What you think will happen if we somehow get reparations? The same two niggas that was probably gonna kill each other is gonna hug each other. The same two niggas that was probably gonna hurt each other is gonna see each other at the bank, have a grown man conversation, and probably start a business together, probably start generational wealth together. Do you understand? The same young man that would have shot that other young man for stepping on his shoes, he ain't gonna feel so engaged to do that. The money gap is why the violence is the way it is. The money gap, the lack of resources is why it's a situation. That is why it is how it is. The project, you know, they built these buildings and they called them projects because it was a project. The project was put these people in these buildings with a lack of resources, a lack of money, a lack of food options, right? Put them in a food desert and let's see how fast they start killing each other. Let's see how fast they turn on each other. It wasn't like that when we had Black Wall Street. Niggas wasn't killing each other in the street. It wasn't no motherfucking gang war. Before we got a chance to arm up in Black Wall Street, they burned it down. Before we got a chance, after we built everything up, after we had got our businesses running, after we had a whole economy, black economy, outside of white people, right? Now we starting it. Now, after that happens, now the next thing is, nigga, we need to get guns. We need to get armor. We need to get war. We need to get bullets. We need to protect this shit. Before we got a chance to load up with guns and bullets to protect Black Wall Street, they got smart. They burned it down. All right? So the wealth gap, that's the only things, that's the only, and reparations closes the wealth gap. Now all of a sudden the cops ain't got who the fuck they putting in jail. They can't put us in jail no more. We not committing crime. Problem is, you're talking about uplifting everybody. That's never the case. No race uplifts itself. Individuals uplift themselves. No white man was let in. He forced his feet at the table. I agree with that to a certain extent, and I like how you put that, right? But I disagree too, right? Because most people, this is the thing, right? It is a community. The communities, they do uplift themselves. Black Wall Street was a prime example. But let's go to a whole nother area, right? The Italians. The Italians in New York City, you ever seen gangs in New York? The Italians and the Irish, they was bums, they was poor, they was dirty. They was like they lived in the ghettos, right? And as a community, they got into underworld activity. And all the community knew about the mob, and the Italians knew that the mob was whacking people, and they was stealing cigarettes, and they was robbing trucks, and they was doing this, and they was doing that, but the whole community was down with it. So I agree with what you're saying to a certain extent, Philly 4235, but then at the same time, I'll say no community uplifts itself without underworld activity. You know what I'm saying? It's not really, it's individuals, but they come together. So it's not like just one person that do it or this person that individual. It's like individuals that come together and say, okay, we gonna form this little thing of ours called the mob. No community on American soil got it righteously. Just, You know, everybody working and everybody. Nah, niggas was taking shit. Niggas was robbing. Niggas was selling drugs. All these communities, even in Chinatown, they got prostitution. They got underworld gambling. I mean, all these communities start from underworld activity. The problem is you start from underworld activity and then you build up to legitimate business. Legitimate business. How you think Black Wall Street was put together? You think it was just black people working and niggas was going to work every day and saving their pennies? Nah, nigga. You know what I mean? They had shit like on the movie Life, where they went and bought that booze and shit down there in Mississippi or Alabama, wherever they was at. Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy, they went down south and they went to the underworld where they could buy the booze, where they could gamble. And Martin got, you know, he got some wolf pussy from one of them prostitutes out there in the slothful and all that, and the brothel and all that, right? Even us, we started out with underworld activity. It was the late night gambling. It was the underworld booze selling. It was a lot of underworld shit going on where we was able to get out of slavery, circulate some money within our community, and start building our community. And then we built houses. We built hospitals, grocery stores, theaters, barbershops, right? Banks. Now we turned that underworld money to legitimate money. And we did it as a community. White people forced their feet at the table, but they did that shit as a unit. Even then, they did it as a unit. Them niggas came in on boats and shit, and they start killing shit. Now, I mean, them people saw Black Wall Street. They came in there as a unit and started burning down black communities. What reparation does is put us in a position to go to war. And that's what I'm going to land this plane on. What did Tupac say in one of my favorite songs ever from Tupac, right? Tupac said in a song, Against All Odds, he said, you told me I need money to go to war. He said, you told me I need to get my money right if I want to go to war. Well, I got my money right, and I want war. That was Tupac's message to Jimmy Hitchman. You need money to go to war. That should answer your question right there. What reparations do? It closed the wealth gap. It puts us in a position where we now have money to go to war. You think we forgot about slavery, nigga? You think we forgot about what you was doing to those females in them slave quarters? You think we forgot about what y'all was doing to them children in them slave quarters? You think we forgot about the alligators when y'all was feeding babies to them? You think we forgot about Emmett Till? You think we forgot about Huey Newton and Bobby Seale, Huey Newton, Fred Hampton? You think we forgot? We just ain't got the money to go to war. Yeah. We just ain't in the, so reparations put us in a position to get some generational wealth built up. And next thing you know, the same young niggas that's killing and shooting, they in the suburbs, they in your mansion. Yeah. Central Park, yeah, Utica Village, yeah, all of that. We ain't forgot about that. It's just what Tupac said. You gotta have money to go to war. Soon as we get those reparations, we gonna say to ourselves, we got our money right. They're gonna be, oh, we gave you the money. What's the problem? We gave you the money. You wanted reparations? We gave you the reparations. Now the spirit in Nat Turner's awakened. Yeah. Big salute to the chat. You already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. Feel what I'm saying? You can tap in, you can tap out. But you know my slogan. You know what I suggest, man? And I suggest that you tap in, you know. I suggest you tap into this grown man business. I suggest you tap into this grown man content at all times. You already know what it is. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight off the brick, directly into the bottles. Straight raw, pure, uncut, no extras, no preservatives. We not sugarcoating nothing. We not dressing nothing up. Listen, man, I'm only here to give you this game straight raw, my G. Pure dope. We ain't water whipping this dope. We ain't counter whipping this dope. No preservatives, no fentanyl, no quinine, no baking soda. We don't add nothing to this pure dope. We put it right in the bottle, straight off the brick. Somalians are being deported. Well, it's a part of the game, baby. Welcome to America. Welcome to America. All right, this is what comes with it. Somalians are being deported for doing the same things white people have been doing for hundreds of years. I believe that all foreigners should be extradited back to their homeland. And it need to be a reset. Y'all need to be reminded of exactly what y'all was running from in the first place. Even white people. Y'all ancestors came over here because they was terminating y'all dirty asses over there in Europe and all that. It wasn't no scholars that came over here on them boats. Those was all outlaws, rapists, pedophiles, shit like that. They put y'all all on a fucking boat and told y'all to find a new land. Respectfully. All right? Is what it is. You know what I mean? That's what happened. There need to be a reset. Everybody need to go back to what it is. You forgot how cold the Caucasus Mountains was. Your ass out there in Florida, you're being racist. You act like Florida is your homeland. Your ass red and pink. You look like a hog. Your back black. Your back is peeling because the sun is burning your ass up. And you forgot how cold those Caucasus Mountains was. Yeah, you forgot. Yeah, you forgot how cold it was in the Caucasus of the mountains. You're Caucasian, the Caucasus. The Caucasus, the Caucasian. I didn't make the rules. I didn't make the rules. I mean, you're Caucasian for the Caucasus Mountains. Yeah, I guarantee you this. We send your white ass to the Caucasus Mountains for 5 years. When you come back to America, I guarantee you mind your goddamn business. I guarantee you that. I'm telling you this much. We send your ass back to the Caucasus Mountains, make you live out there in the cold ass weather for 5 years. When you come back to America, you won't be minding nobody business. You'll be minding your own business. Black man walk through the neighborhood, you wouldn't say a goddamn word. Black man pull up to the bank, you won't ask no questions. That's why everybody need to go back home. You forgot what you ran from. You forgot where you came from. It wouldn't be a Karen in America if we sent your dog fur having ass back to the Caucasus of the mountains. Y'all done forgot where you came. Now we walking around, you asking us what you doing out here. Do you live out here? Do you have property out here? Why are you fishing in the lake? You're asking too many questions because you done forgot why you're so furry. You done forgot why it's fur. Dog fur all on your back and your neck and your shoulders and your kneecaps. You know, it's because you needed that for the Caucasus Mountains. Everybody need to go back home. I guarantee you. I guarantee you, you won't ask a black man about nothing. You won't ask no question. You will start to mind your business. I guarantee it. Reparations. It's a beautiful thing, man. But I told you, it's no way they're going to hand us the keys for war. There's no way, no way. We will stimulate the economy. We'll have this economy running like a well-oiled machine. Like a well-oiled machine. But in the back of their heads, they saying, these motherfuckers won't pay back. War is inevitable for the actions of our ancestors. War is inevitable. And if we give them this money, it won't take 5 to 10 years before we gonna have a problem. So don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath when it comes to reparations. Last but not least, they lied to you about Africa. That's why Africans look the way Africans look. That's why Africans dress like us. That's why Africans want to be like us. That's why they talk like us. That's why they rap like us. That's why they admire us. We are the crown jewels. Us. We are the jewels that were around God's neck. We are the chosen people. Us. That's why we don't look like Africans. We don't get ashy. Our hair don't grow like Africans. Respectfully, no disrespect to Africans, but we don't got nothing in common but a little bit of melanin. You got a little melanin, I got a little melanin. That's it. They skin don't glow like this. Woo! Yeah! They motherfucking, them Africans' skin don't glow like this, boy. That shit be ashy. I ain't never used shea butter in I don't use shea butter. Motherfucker using shea butter, I might get some cocoa, yeah. But I don't use shea butter. Respectfully, I'm not trying to be funny, right? I remember one time, one of my homies from New York, right? He said, man, we get that raw shea butter out there in New York City. I say, oh yeah? He said, yeah, man, you will love it. He said, next time I come down, I'm going to bring you some shea butter, raw shea butter from New York City. I say, okay, well, shit, bring down the shea butter. I would love to try it. And it was clumps. It was like clumps of butter, right? Like lotion butter. Like you put your hands on it like this, and you rub the shit on you, right? And what I realized is I ain't that goddamn ashy. I don't need raw shea butter. Yeah, my skin is not that ashy. My skin got a natural oil and glow to it, to where it's not raw shea butter. Yeah, I can't use it. But the Africans use it because their skin is like alligator skin. Respectfully, I'm not trying to be mean. So they get that raw shea butter so that they can get in the crevices of that crackly, ashy skin and they can smooth it out. I used like a little bit of the shea butter. I gave this shit away. Gave it away, man. I never used, and I never touched shea butter again. They told y'all Africa was the motherland. They lied to y'all. Just like they lied to y'all about cow milk. See, a lot of y'all in the chat that's challenging me. You woke up this morning and you drunk cow milk, didn't you? Didn't you drink cow milk today? Didn't you drink cow milk? Didn't a white man tell you that milk does a body good? Didn't you believe it? You believe that a white man told you to drink a cow milk and you drunk it. Think about that. Think about how crazy that is, that the white man got you drinking milk out the cow nipple. You drinking cow milk, nigga. You ain't no goddamn, you ain't no cow. The people told you Africa was the motherland. They lied to you. Look around. Peep game. You in America right now, look around. Peep game. You standing on the motherland. You standing on the soil right here, right now. Motherfucker drinking cow milk. Yeah, you drinking goat milk. You're drinking cow milk, bitch. But if I gave you a glass of breast milk from a woman, you wouldn't drink it. That's how brainwashed they got your ass. If I gave you a glass right now from a pregnant woman breast milk, you would turn it down. Oh, I'm not drinking no damn breast milk. But you would drink a goat milk. You would drink breast milk from a goat. you would drink breast milk from a cow. Whew. Yeah, it is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. They lied to you. All right. Now, make sure you make sure you hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you got your notification bells ringing. We going live tonight. We gonna have some fun. We already baited the algorithm. We back in the algorithm. And we gonna talk about Diddy, man. We gonna talk about 50 Cent. I'm highly disappointed in 50 Cent, man. And we gonna have a conversation. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna connect some dots for y'all. I'm gonna tell you something, right? I knew something was off about 50 Cent and Tony Yayo and all these different like type of celebrities out of nowhere rubbing shoulders with YouTubers. Mason Betta, you know what I mean? Hassan Cam, like something was wrong with that. And it didn't sit well with me, but it was no hate. But something about it wasn't right. The intentions wasn't pure. The downloads have downloaded. We're gonna talk about this tonight. Big salute to the chat. Yeah, what about it? We driving from Atlanta back to Manhattan, New York. Salute to New York City, man. I knew it was something up with that. The situation with P. Diddy and his documentary or whatever, nasty work. You know what I mean? I think it's disgusting. And I'm disappointed in 50, man. It is what it is. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? But I thought that it would be one or two YouTubers that would keep it 100, that would keep it a buck about what's going on and the moves that 50 Cent is making. But y'all have been compromised. We're gonna talk about this tonight. I knew it was a reason why 50 Cent was saying certain things. I knew it was a reason why 50 Cent was posting all you niggas. I knew it was a reason, and it's because you guys have been compromised. Y'all don't want to keep it real about 50. Y'all don't want to keep it a stack about 50 because y'all don't want to get on his bad side, because y'all want him to post and y'all want him to say your slogans and y'all want to be in the same bed with 50 Cent. And we're going to talk about that tonight. It's what separates me from y'all. It is. It's really what separates me from you guys. You understand what I'm saying? It's a reason why these celebrities is showing you YouTube niggas love. Is because they don't want y'all to get on your platform and speak the truth about them. Now all of a sudden, Hassan Campbell don't want to talk about the dildo that was on Mace's sink when he was living with Diddy. Hassan Campbell don't want to talk about that no more because Mace took him out to dinner, bought him a steak, did a video with him and all that. Now we done forgot that you had a dildo on your sink when you was living with Diddy. But that's what separate me from y'all. So I highly suggest that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I got the beanie on. It's cold outside, man. Yeah, it's cold outside. You know what I mean? It's just, this the beanie. You know what I mean? It's like Carmelo with the gray hoodie and all that. You know what I mean? Make sure your notification bells are ringing. We're going to talk tonight. It's going to be epic. I knew it was a reason. Y'all don't think that shit is foul, what 50 is doing? Y'all don't think that's whole activity? That whole I watched the documentary. We're going to talk about it. I watched the documentary. I'm going to watch it again. I didn't see your baby mama in that documentary, 50 Cent. You know your baby mama you was in love with? We going to talk about it respectfully. You YouTube niggas been compromised. You YouTube niggas, y'all walk through the door. Respectfully, I ain't hating or nothing like that. Y'all niggas been walked through the door. They gracefully walked y'all niggas through the door. I might be the last man standing. I'm probably the last man standing when it come to this. Oh, and I'm going to talk about this tonight. Like it or love it. It is what it is. And it'll be what it's going to be. All right, so you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? Listen, man. Tap in, tap out. Hit your like button. Make sure your notification bells are ringing. 8:30, 9 o'clock, we going live. Make sure you in the fucking building. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You can tap in, you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in. Gang.